Hello, Decide Your Destiny crew, and welcome to another podcast interview. Today we've got Utkarsh, and Utkarsh is a learning consultant, executive coach, facilitator, and content creator based in Melbourne, Australia. He has learned to make fear his ally, living in a courageous life. He has a passion for understanding human behavior and using his diverse experience in building programs for organizations across the globe. Utkarsh, welcome. I'm excited to have you on.
Thank you, Kyle. Super excited to be here and to having this conversation with you and our listeners.
Brilliant, mate. And I wanted to start because there's a quote that you like that I also love, and I wanted to get your definition of why it's important to you. So it's Mahatma Gandhi: live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever.
Yeah. Kyle, one thing that became very clear to me when I had my kids was that when a child is learning to grow or learning to walk, we never tell them that why the hell are you falling again and again? You should stop trying to do that. But we always motivate that child to learn and to run and to get better. And so I think learning is very innate to human nature, and learning is something that comes to us very naturally. But the challenge is that at some point we forget the joy of learning, and we end up trying to learn to just pass an exam or for external validation. And I think that's where the pain lies. So that's where this quote really resonates with me, that learn as if you're going to live forever and use that knowledge in beautiful things, and live as if you were to die tomorrow, so that you don't need too many materialistic gains, but you need enough to sustain a life. But learning becomes your motivator.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that quote. I love it. And where are you from originally, Utkarsh?
Yeah, so originally from Delhi, India, and only 15 months ago, March of 2023, is when my wife and I decided that we got to come to this beautiful land called Australia. We packed our bags, packed our two children, not in the suitcases though, on an airplane, and we moved here to Australia. So yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you've got some lovely core values, which I'd love to run through. So first one is discipline. What does discipline mean to you and the work that you do?
Yeah. So I think just to give a little bit of context to our listeners, I think the core values, how they help me, Kyle, is that they help me define a path in life. Whenever I'm at a fork in the road and I have to make a decision as to, is this the right path to take or not, the values really serve me well to help me build a life that I really want to go on to, and to decide the destiny, and using the word that you framed. And this value of discipline, I think it's been very critical in terms of my journey. And I'll just share like a quick story so that listeners can get a little bit more insight into it. I was in a corporate job for about 7-8 years, till in the middle of the pandemic 2020. I decided that I want to quit my job and become a full-time entrepreneur, coach, and consultant. As I did that, Kyle, on 31st December 2020 was my last day of work. On January 1, I had no clients, no emails to look at, nothing to do, but I still
Sounds
managed this
brilliant.
value. Sounds brilliant. Yeah. Just the right place to be, right? You have nothing to do on January 1, and you've started your own company. You're clueless. But what I made sure was that I showed up at my work desk every morning, 7 a.m. And that was a discipline. I would get ready, be not in my pajamas, but be fully dressed, because that's what's important to me. And that discipline then shows up in helping you be consistent, in helping you build habits. And we know that how habits compound. And that's where this value of discipline has been very core to everything that I've done over the years.
That's so for me, where I hear the power in that really is that you're showing up no matter what, no matter my circumstances, no matter the environment, no matter the fact that, yeah, I've got 0 emails, which probably a lot of people out there would be like, wow, that's in an idea where my ideal world where all my emails are taken care of. But yeah, you're showing up and you're building the discipline because that's change is going to happen. It's not always going to be like that, and you're going to have clients, but you need to start building in those disciplines now. So it's that's where it's mind over your material surroundings has to be stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only way to build that mind is also by showing up. is also by the discipline. So that really becomes the key. Because if you don't show up, then someone else is going to show up and they're going to get that client. They're going to get that next coachee. They're going to get that next podcast with Kyle. And all you got to do is to show up. And that's where discipline is the key to showing up.
I love your passion, Utkarsh. I love it. So what I wanted to ask you is what's the number one question that you get asked in your business?
Yeah. I think very often I see people and I cater to mostly businesses, but I also cater to individual coaches. And I think everyone's looking for this one key factor, Kyle, that how do you live with courage? Whether you're living with courage as a professional and trying to build your business, whether you're trying to live with courage as a parent and trying to raise children right. And so how do you really live with courage? And they look at my background, they look at the plethora of things that I've done, and they feel that it was always, wow, Utkarsh, you're so courageous, and wow, Utkarsh, you've done that and this. But I think the reframe that I then help them do is that you got to understand the fears that you're operating with, and you have to learn to overcome those fears to become courageous. And that's what helps you grow and decide your destiny.
Yeah, so when you're deciding your destiny, it's not, and a lot of people will have those throwaway, oh, you're just courageous, or you're gifted, or you just had magic potions, or whatever it is. But the reality is, courage is not without fear. Courage is having fear and choosing to act anyway.
Absolutely. Love how you're framing it. And I spoke about this, Kyle, at a TEDx talk recently at Mornington. Folks can Google that or YouTube that. But I spoke about that. My idea was that I'm going to say, oh, I was so courageous in changing my careers. I was so courageous in moving with my family to this new land. But then a dear friend challenged me, Utkarsh, were you really courageous? Or were you fearful of something that led to the courage? And as soon as that person challenged me, I was like, damn, that's deep. Because as a child or as a youngster or as even a teenager or an adult, I'm fearful most of the times. And courage is something that has to come out consciously. And so how do you really grapple with that fear? How do you make fear your friend and not your enemy? And once you have that relationship sorted in a way, then that fear is going to drive you to be courageous and helping you move forward.
Yeah, that's a lovely thing to teach business owners, and because in the business landscape, you're to make it really work, there is going to be risk. I'm going to have to back myself. I'm going to have to put all the chips in. There's going to be days where, I get up early, I do my suit and tie, and I get all ready, and I look at 0 emails or 0 clients, and or something goes wrong with a client. So developing that relationship with fear, where it's not something that you hide from. It's something that you bring courage to, and it's almost like a test, a challenge, a bit of a competition. And I think over time you find that way of, all right, I can act with more courage, I can act with more opportunity, with more positive emotions, and not just fear. And I think that does come through the repetition.
Correct. And the choice is yours. You cannot let anyone else make that choice for you. There was a time, Kyle, I was a physical therapist back home in India. I had 3 clinics. My dad is a physician, mom a PhD. So I was put onto this pedestal that, Utkarsh, you got to become a doctor too. And I did that for about 6-7 years till I decided that I don't want to do that anymore. And as soon as I shared that with my family, the first reaction was, what the hell is wrong with you, my friend? Why are you trying to disrupt the system so in a massive way that it's going to create a lot of struggle? But in that moment, I was feeling as a frog in a well, and I wanted to touch lives across the world. But how do I do that as a physical therapist? And so the fear was that I'm going to fail, and I'm going to fail so hard that everyone's going to laugh at it. But what if I don't fail? And how would I know unless I try and make that choice of trying and of moving forward?
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. And you chose, would you say, in order to decide your destiny, we have to disrupt the system?
In beautiful ways, absolutely. But we have to be very careful, Kyle, that we don't disrupt the system in such massive ways that either you or your system is not ready for it. And I'll share a quick story on that. There was once this man who was walking down a path, and a monk is sitting there. And the monk is sitting there and observing a butterfly trying to come out of a cocoon. And the butterfly is struggling because it's all sticky and mushy and in a difficult space. So that man pauses and looks at the tree and sees that butterfly trying to come out. And he says, "Monk, what the hell are you doing? I can help this butterfly, and then the butterfly will fly." And so he starts to slowly pull the butterfly out, and it tries to help the butterfly. And the monk says, "You've just killed the butterfly." And the man said, "No, I've not. Look, the butterfly is flying." The butterfly flutters for a couple of minutes and then falls onto the ground and dies. And the monk tells that the butterfly was yet not ready to spread its wings. So you can disrupt the cocoon and you can have your butterfly come out, but make sure that you're ready to receive that, Kyle, I think. And that's where you will be able to decide your destiny, when you're working on yourself, you're loving yourself, you're caring for yourself, you're ready to receive that energy. Does that make sense, Kyle?
Yeah, 100%. And it's a pragmatic approach. You're not being too logical that you go into inaction, but you're raising your awareness and realizing I need to work with the system, and I need to use resources in the system, whether that's the family, whether that's the community, whether that's your industry, and then as I learn this industry, or as I learn this business or this role, then I can actually work out how to improve and develop on and meet it at the right timing, where we can make that transition, where we can make that change when we're ready to spread our wings.
100%, absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful. And another one of your core values, which I really love, is excellence. So what does excellence have to do with, the work that you do in your business?
Yeah. So for me, excellence can be defined in very different ways, Kyle. I think why it's important is that when you're trusting me in this moment to be on this podcast, when a client trusts me with their people, when a coachee comes and trusts their time and resources and money on me, if I don't show up with excellence to them, then I'm doing a disservice to them. And so excellence becomes almost like that lighthouse, which is putting light on the work that I'm trying to do, so that when I show up, then people know that this person has done the work to come and help us. And so that excellence becomes a very important metric. Now, I don't want us to feel that excellence is an external metric, because I don't want people to feel that Kyle has to feel that Utkarsh is appearing here with his excellence. But first, Utkarsh has to feel. So all my work, Kyle, comes back to that. How do you really feel about yourself? What's your intention with yourself? And if that intention is that I did my best today, I showed up to Kyle being my excellent self, then I've done service to Kyle and to our listeners, and that's about it.
I love that. And it's the attitude of service and giving. What's something new in your life that you're enjoying doing? Like a new hobby or a new mindset, or a new project that you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, there's plenty of exciting stuff happening. But one thing that I was realizing this morning before we were planning to meet, Kyle, I've started to take these cold showers, and it's been about 6 months now. And the temperature this morning in Melbourne was about 5 degrees Celsius, if people want to do the conversion. And I was thinking, like, I don't want a cold shower today. Let me get into my warm shower and enjoy that moment. But I still ended up doing the cold shower. And so I'm really enjoying cold showers. And till about late last year, I used to hate them and despise the water, because I did not find any meaning in putting myself through that trauma. But as I'm doing this right now, again and again, and every single day, so I've been doing this for now 6 months, what I'm realizing is that cold shower is my first victory of the day almost. Where it makes me feel like, damn, I've been able to win over the shower. And that's helping me kind of almost like create a ripple effect or cascade effect over the rest of my day. And that's one. The second thing I'm realizing is that after that cold shower, the mind and the body feel in a very alert state, which is something that I think everyone who feels right now like, Utkarsh, you cannot do cold showers, should definitely give it a shot, because I think it's going to be worth it.
I love that. And I think one of the ways that I changed my sort of growth mindset was just breaking things down and looking at, why is this the case? So rather than going to the, in life a lot, we want to go to the expert, or you want to be told, or, you've got your parent, you've got your teacher, you've got your specialist, always got someone, a bit of a dominion over telling you what's right, what's wrong, why this is the case. And yes, you can go into the science of the cold shower, but we can also learn a lot by just unpacking. And in my book, Decide Your Destiny, this is what I really talk about, is it's about learning from your own youth, learning from you as a child, learning from your own experiences and what you overcame. And with the cold shower, as you were talking, I just thought about it. Well, if you think about it, over our history, going back a long, long time, when you are warm, what is that? That's when you're being nurtured as a baby. That's when you're getting ready for sleep. That's when you're embracing someone. Your senses are slowing down, and so when you have a warm shower, or you put the hot aircon on, or you're driving and you put the heat on, you start to feel a little drowsy because you're going back to that nurture state, whereas if you think about it, one of the cool things that you can do if you're not ready to jump into the cold shower, you can put some cold water and splash your face, and that reenacts you jumping in cold water, and that gets your whole system, really aware and awake and alert. And a lot of what we learn and why things are the way they are, we can uncover through our own development.
Yeah, that's very powerful, Kyle. And see, you spoke about the growth mindset. That we'll stretch to the next value, which is I'm taking the cue here, and which is growth. But the whole point there is that unless you make yourself a little uncomfortable, you're not going to be able to grow. And it's a cliche, right? The world is talking about it, that growth happens outside your comfort zone. But are you ready to push yourself? And if not, then what's stopping you? Because I think that's something that our listeners must reflect upon. We all want to have better habits. We all want to have better lives. We all create these amazing, massive New Year resolutions, which fail by second week of January. And sometimes all of them are failed by the first week of March. But what's stopping us from growing? And it's our mindset. And so for me specifically, growth is a value that's very dear to me. And I feel, again, coming back to Gandhi's quote of, if you're learning, learn for your lifetime, that you're going to live forever. I think that's the thought we got to play with. And it's not necessary that you got to think of growth in terms of, that I do a 9-to-5 job, let me become an entrepreneur. And being a founder is really cool. And that's what find your space. If you want to just maybe learn a new language, do that. If you want to learn a new instrument, do that. If you want to become a better parent, do that. Grow in any phase of your existence. It just does not have to be only the business sense. Sometimes people take mistake into that. And I think then growth is going to serve you in beautiful ways over a lifetime.
Beautiful, man. I love that. And that brought, and the reason why I'm going through some of your core values is because I really align with them, and the whole Decide Your Destiny, mission and focus really aligns as well. I think I heard two of the two remaining core values, and a combination. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Mm-hmm. Freedom and love, so freedom of our choice, freedom of us to choose, us to decide, us to take a course of action. And then the self-love to choose what's going to benefit us. Yes, the chocolate cake might feel good in my lips right now, in my tummy, but will that benefit me later on? Yes, the warm shower, that's how I've always done it. And it's always served me okay. But stepping outside the comfort zone, is that going to bring more love to me throughout the day? Because I'm going to be alert. I'm going to be able to face my day more with more ability. I guess that combination of self-love and freedom. Yeah. What do those core values mean to you and in what you do?
Yeah, I think love is a more expansive form of love, and it definitely starts from self-love. This love is not the romantic Bollywood Indian style love where you see a male actor and a female actor running around the tree, but this is more expansive. That conversation that you and I were having about being of service, I think this is where that love comes from. And I've had my journey with it, Kyle. It's never like I've been full of these values and full of this unconditional love, so to say, but I've evolved over time. And how I've tried to do that is, I'll give you a very small example. I know we are coming back to the cold shower, but the first few weeks and months when I was starting to do cold shower, I would look at the shower and like, Like I did not speak that word, but there were like a few beeps right there,
Yeah.
because I would hate it, and I would not want that cold water on me. And then I'll realize, like, I think it was somewhere in March or April, that every morning when I come for a shower, I have a lot of anger towards the shower. And that is now conflicting with my core value of love. And now this non-living thing is living in my head by the perception that I have of it. And so if I'm starting my day with anger towards the shower, then how's the day going to span out? And the value of love is getting conflicted. So now I enter in and say, my shower, I love you, but I don't like the cold water too much. But I know how you make me feel, and I know how you help me build discipline, get resilient, and grow. So I'm going to do that now. So the anger shifted to love. And that's how this value to this podcast, to every client, to my two boys who are 13 and 10, to my wife, I show up with a lot of love. And that's how this value comes into place. And then finally, before I let you speak, I'll get to freedom. Freedom is the freedom to choose, the freedom to think, the freedom to be, the freedom to create my own schedule. I think that's come over time, and it's been a beautiful journey. But how I kind of relate to that is that this could be the final conversation, Kyle, you and I have. I could die after this, or you could die after this. And I know it's a grave thought, but that's possible. And so today I'm going to live a full, free life, so that if I were to die today, I'll die a very happy and satisfied and content man. And that's why freedom becomes a very important aspect of my existence.
Love that, man. And it's like, you said so many great things there. Changing the relationship through changing the communication. And there's so many self-communications that we have in our mind as we're going about our day, and we're bemoaning certain things. And if you jump that to what you said at the end, where, well, if today was my last day, how would I want to live it? Would I want to live it bemoaning, or would I want to, front up and face up? And that, I heard a quote recently where it was, it's great. It's easy to have a good attitude when everything's going right, and the real, you know, experts in life, or the real people that shine through in life, are the people that can have a smile on their face when they've, just fallen in the mud, or when life isn't going so great, and that shows your character. That's very lines to a lot of things that I really brought through in Decide Your Destiny was the stoic nature. How to show up and front up when things maybe aren't necessarily going your way. So I saw on your wall there, ignite your spark, and I'd love to find out, relating that to the audience and them sitting at home. We've got our fingertips and our mind and our eyes to the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes we can question, who's taking away my freedoms, or who's not allowing me to love and expand, or, who is disrupting my disciplines. It'd be much easier if my life was set up perfectly like this.
Yeah.
So, there are factors that do affect those aspects, those core values that I think are some great core values for anyone to take away and reflect. But in terms of igniting your spark,
Mm-hmm.
and truly, going out, and I love that, ignite your spark and decide your destiny. What can someone do who's maybe feeling like they've lost a bit of that spark, or they don't feel like they can really decide their destiny, or that's too big a word or too big an idea for them? What would you say to them?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question, Kyle. As I'm listening to you and as I'm thinking about this, you don't have to feel like your destiny is 5 years from now, or 15 years from now, or 30 years from now. You can decide about the day, right? Today, I'm going to make this happen. You got to break it down into very small steps. And when you're thinking that who's limiting me, and who's challenging me, and who's not allowing me to be my best self or ignite my spark, the first person that's not allowing you to do that is you. And so spend some time with yourself. A simple rule that I can give our listeners, Kyle, is the 2% rule. And what that really means is find that 2% time in your day where you can reflect with yourself. Spend that 30 minutes sitting with yourself, going on a walk with yourself, and making sure that you understand who you are as a person and what you're trying to achieve on this journey. And then break it down into small pieces and find that one thing you can achieve today that allows you to ignite that spark. And then finally, one last thought, I'm bringing Gandhi back to our fold, but he says this amazing thing where he says that when I sleep at night, I die. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm born again. What that means to me is that all I have to conquer to control and decide my destiny is today. And I let tomorrow take care of itself.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And there's, I think it's the book, The Power of Awareness, or I've got it on order. I should know the title, but it talks about that, take every day, give yourself the opportunity. And like you said, day by day, I'm born again. I've got this day, this one opportunity. Take the time to remove yourself from everything that's going on around, all the commotion in the world, and work on your inner world. And I really believe in that. So what would you say deciding your destiny means to you?
Yeah. It's a very, very beautiful phrase, deciding your destiny. What it means is that you have the power, you have the control, and you have everything that you need to decide where you want to take your life to. All you need is to switch on that mindset where you think of every day as a choice that you're going to make to achieve your destiny, whatever that might look for you. The second thing would be, you got to decide for yourself as to what is success for you. Don't let the voices of the world, don't let others in the world decide for you as to what your destiny is. And number 3 is, whatever path you choose for yourself, don't connect your joy or satisfaction to that end goal of destiny. Find that joy in the path that you are on, because you don't know if you're going to achieve your destiny or not. You don't know if you're going to get to that or not. But all the days that you have in terms of reaching to that point, I think enjoy that process of choosing, of freedom, of deciding. And I think life's a beautiful journey. You can see the dark clouds and the silver lining and wait for the tornado. And living in Melbourne, I see 4 weathers in a day, Kyle. So can't complain.
Love it. I love it. You're choosing what you want to see and choosing what you want to aim towards and go towards. And I often say to people, when I'm talking about decide your destiny, and they see the big grandiose sort of thing in their mind, I say, well, every day, it's a daily discipline. It's a deciding my destiny today. How can I break that down in today? Am I living in, I'm putting that flag. That's the destiny. That's the destination. Am I on my flight path? Am I living in alignment with that? Or am I getting disrupted? And if you have something that's further out, like a goal, a vision, a mission, it allows you to line yourself up correctly to that and notice and have that self-awareness when you're getting disrupted. So, Utkarsh, I had a great conversation with you. Really, really enjoyed it. And I don't think this will be the last time we connect and do a podcast or do something creatively together. I do think there'll be more. I believe that within me. So I wanted to find out where the audience can find out a little bit more about you, learn from you, look at some of your TEDx talks. Yeah, absolutely. If you'd love to share, that'd be great.
Absolutely. No, thank you for this, Kyle. And absolutely, we're going to have many such conversations. If folks want to kind of reach out to me or connect with me, they can find my name on LinkedIn and on Instagram, Utkarsh Narang. The name of the company is Ignited Neurons, and I'm pretty sure Kyle will put all the links in the description. And if you want to kind of search my TEDx talk, it's about can fear push you to be courageous? And you go onto YouTube and you'll get that. And then I'm here on LinkedIn and Instagram, wherever you want to find me.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much, Utkarsh. Really appreciate it. Guys, check out the show notes to follow Utkarsh and have a look at the TEDx talk and more good things that he's doing on this planet, making a good positive impact. And as always, guys, remember to decide your destiny. Cheers.